So now they found a second suspect. Oh, wow.
I wouldn't say they've hit a dead end, but they just don't have
looks
any
like George
solid
Bush.
leads on the identification of the subject.
It appears as though he may be scoping things out, but it's more so he's like buying time. He's almost waiting until he knows where he wants to go and what he wants to do.
He's engaging in that pre-attack surveillance, that right before, making sure it's a soft target, making sure there's no law enforcement in sight, and just rehearsing his attack right before he goes in that building and commits it.
Oh, shit.
Breaking news now in the manhunt for the Brown University shooter. Now in its 5th day, Providence police are now looking for a second person who was, quote, in the proximity of the person of interest. Wow, a lot we are learning minute by minute as this goes on. I'm Sandra Smith in New York.
It's crazy this is still going on.
Good to be with you as well, Sandra. I'm John Roberts in Washington, and this is America Reports. That headline comes as new video lays out a timeline of the potential shooter's movements in 15 different clips. Up to 2 hours before and just minutes after the deadly mass shooting.
We have Fox Team coverage for you kicking off right now with Paul Morrow, who is on the ground digging into this new timeline.
But first to our national correspondent, Brian Ennis, who leads us off in Providence with the latest. Brian?
John and Sandra, good afternoon. This news breaking within the last half hour. The Providence police releasing new images of a second person. Now, I want to be careful with how I use the language, so I'll read what they just posted on X. They said investigators are asking for the public's help in identifying and speaking to the individual shown in these photos who was in proximity of the person of interest.
Who knows whether he did it or not, but yeah, it's a little interesting.
Press conference, that is a news conference, I should say, that is scheduled for 5 p.m.
Video
today.
evidence is nice, but what about dreams?
True. Now, these new images come a day after the Providence police released new enhanced video of the primary person of interest we've been talking about. 5'8" with a stocky build, walking around the nearby neighborhood as early as 10:30 a.m. 5.5 hours before the shooting. They're hoping someone out there will recognize the way that he walks and carries his weight. Sometimes he's seen wearing a satchel, sometimes he's not. Investigators say the video...
There's no way the investigation isn't being covered up. How do we not have a face and a name after 5 days and 800 videos, cameras on campus?
Video released is the best video they have of this person. Now, back out here in front of the Barris and Holly building. I want to give people an idea of the timeline.
About the student they scrubbed off the website? The Palestinian person? Yeah.
And sort of what we now know based on the FBI's information. Behind me is the north entrance, sort of the back entrance, loading dock, and parking lot. The FBI has focused a ton of energy on that entrance. We've seen people in Tyvek suits and cameras looking at that. It's believed, based on what we know, that the gunman, primary person of interest, the suspect, came out of that entrance or exit and started walking this way and passing this dumpster. Now, over the last few days, we've seen FBI agents in Tyvek suits inside of that dumpster. This is a school parking lot.
Okay.
Now, after he goes by this way, according to what the FBI timeline
so they still can't
says,
find this guy.
That person of interest is seen on a surveillance video 2 blocks away, and he crossing Hope Street. You can see him running through crossing Hope Street, which is behind that vehicle. I don't know if Dave can show. So
that's him running away. Yeah, there he is. See the circle.
Car. But there is a surveillance video at 4:03 p.m. that shows the primary person of interest.
How are they not able to, like, I mean, everybody has Ring cameras and shit. How are people not able to, like, cross-reference that, too?
Running past that
That's
pole,
what's shocking about
across
this.
Hope Street to Waterman. The person of interest is seen for the last time at 4:06
There's a cop
p.m.
right there,
going down Waterman Street.
Wait, I don't know why I didn't realize this. No, you're right. Cosmetic police. The shooter is right there. Like, if this was a video game, you would have got aggro. Yeah, there's a big shooting. You see a guy running away. Yeah, no, everything, no, we're good. No, yeah. No, we're good. Yeah, for sure.
For the last time
Must have been a win.
at 4:06 p.m. going down Waterman Street. Now, it's really interesting to note here, the cameras have been a big issue in this investigation. Dave, if you just look around this parking lot to show everybody, there are no cameras that we can see out here, right outside of the Barris and Hawley building. You can see there are no cameras that we see visible to the eye. So that is something that has been a big sticking point in this investigation. The only camera, again, that catches this primary person of interest is down the block all the way over there, running out. So that is where we're at now with the investigation. John and Sandra.
All right, thanks. And we look forward to more updates as the hours and days progress. Brian Yennis for us. Brian, thank you. Sandra?
All right, let's bring in.
Are you going to chase everyone who runs from a shooting? Yeah, basically. So like because like the police, obviously they're going to say who they think the guy is. And like if you're a police officer and you see a guy running away that matches the working description of who you think the shooter is. Like I had this happen to me actually. So one time I was walking down to the store and apparently there was like a shooting going on in my neighborhood. I didn't know this, but like there was a shooting. This is like maybe a few years ago. And it's like 2 or 3 in the morning and the cops pull up, right? And like, it's like the big van and they pull up and they're like, okay. And this happens, right? This happens. Shootings happen. And it's America, right? After all. So they pull up, they're like, hey, they're like, what's going on? And they're like, I'm like, what's going on? Like, yeah, there's a shooting around here. And I'm like, oh yeah? They're like, yeah, did you shoot anybody? I'm like, nope. They're like, okay, where are you going? You going to the store? All right. The next cop pulls up and he's like, is this the guy? You're like, no, it's not him. They're like, all right, understandable. Have a nice day. That was it. Yeah, you got profiled? I did. I got profiled. I did. Yeah, you got away with it? I did. I got away with the shooting. Can you believe that? I'll be right back. And that was it. It was literally that simple. And they didn't even do that. It's probably a bet on Polymarket on what ethnicity the shooter is. That's a good bet. I like that.
NYPD inspector and Fox News contributor Paul Morrow, who's also live on the scene there in Providence. So much I want to ask you about based on what we're now learning. First of all, the university and the local police there told students, staff, administration that there was no immediate threat on campus, that they should feel secure while also remaining vigilant. Now learning they're looking for a person.
Now, this might sound crazy, but it is something that I believe. Would I put it past them to hide the identity of a person doing this if the person's identity being revealed would be inconvenient for their political views? No, I would not put that past them. I would not. I think that they would do that. I do. And UK does it? Yeah, I think they'd do that. They do that before? Yeah. So this is Mustafa Kerbak is a Palestinian refugee raised in Lebanon. Same gait, same keyboard warrior body type. Radical political activist. Why did Brown University scrub him from their website? What are they hiding? And then he disabled his own X account. That doesn't look suspicious at all. So, look at this here.
Officials temporarily suspend the school's chapter of Students for Justice in Palestine.
This suspension is a clear...
I mean, it's another fat guy. I mean, there you go. They're 100% hiding this. They targeted the vice president of the only right-wing group that existed on campus. I don't even think that they're hiding it because of who he shot. They're hiding it because of who he is. That's what I would bet. I think that if he had shot somebody else, they still would have hidden it.
Of interest connected
wearing the same pants. A lot of people have jeans.
The person of interest. I mean, are people safe that are still there?
I mean, it's very hard to say. Just let's remember that they sent everybody home. The school has told everybody that finals are canceled. School is over for the semester. And that's apparent here on the streets. They're relatively deserted. To be clear, the building that we're at, which is where the shooting occurred, is right on the edge. It's realistically the first aspect of Brown University that you hit when you walk out of the adjacent residential neighborhood. There's a neighborhood right here. It's very affluent, a lot of houses that are behind walls, well set back, which I think explains the paucity of private videos that they've been able to get from Ring cameras and the like.
Yeah, so exactly.
Whether or not they're safe, the police...
I mean, I've seen one of these things happen, and there was like 10 different cameras of it.
Very clearly.
That's what I'm surprised
about. They're trying to walk that fine line between creating an element of panic, but reassuring people that they're doing everything that they can, and that people should go about their lives.
Paul, okay, so you mentioned students leaving campus. There's been some who have taken issue with that because obviously with the lack of cameras and video surveillance footage, many are wondering, are they letting some of the students go that could have been eyewitnesses that could help aid this investigation? Should there be further interviews or more interviews that haven't happened yet, Paul? Is there a risk to letting all these people go home?
They're hiding something?
Yeah, there is. You're absolutely right. And we saw this. I know I've name-checked it before, but the public knows it, so I use it. The Koberger case. That happened University of Idaho at Moscow. And same situation there.
Is this the Brown University incident?
Classes,
Yeah, it is.
The kids that were going to the school, they all dispersed. And as a result, when it came time to do some interviews, they had to actually rely on police all around the country to go knock on doors and ask, were you there and what did you see? I suspect there's going to be some of that here as well.
Yeah, I think they could just outsource. I mean, there's police everywhere in the country, so they could just, like, I don't think that's a real problem, but the dispersion makes it harder to do.
Well, and there's also
my university has like 1 million cameras everywhere. How do they not have footage? I don't know. I mean, they showed that there were no cameras in a certain area. So, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I went to college, like, 11 years ago, right? Like, it's almost 12 years ago now. Actually, yeah, 12 years ago. And so my experience on this is, like, really outdated. But whenever I went there, I didn't really see a lot of cameras. But, I mean, things have probably changed a lot in 10 years.
That, as I said, because this is adjacent to a residential
neighborhood. They scouted an exit area with no comms. That makes sense, too.
During the weekend, in the immediate aftermath of the event, because it happened on a Saturday, a lot of these people were not home. Some of them might not still be home because they may be gone to Florida for the season or something like that.
Sure.
And that's why you're seeing video dribble
$70K per year
because
school.
They're canvassing very hard, going further and further out, trying to get a hold of people that have either just returned or maybe even getting a hold of them wherever they are and saying, can you get somebody to let us in and access your Ring camera?
Or
they're going right to the source
Find
and
out
saying,
who
we need a consent
Israel
from you because we're going to pull video from the video company.
I mean, and you think that could
happen?
Yeah,
that's what they need to do. They just pull the video and see what it is. And also, if the university, like, this is my opinion, is that if the university is, like, if they're hiding it or, like, suppressing it for whatever reason, and it's found out that they were doing that, I'd charge them as an accessory for the crime. I would. Like, whoever was doing it, it's like, so you guys pick out who's getting charged for an accessory to murder, okay? You know, and somebody's getting arrested here. And nothing will happen. Yeah, nothing will ever happen. Obviously, nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. They're going to get away with it if it happens, and that's it.
Faster than it is, but I don't know enough to be a critic of that. I also want to ask you about a discussion I just had with my colleagues downstairs on Outnumbered. Kayleigh Mackin and I were discussing, obviously, you know, there are going to be parents who are going to be very concerned about sending their kids to a university where we're learning there wasn't an abundant camera presence. We're learning to pull enough surveillance footage to catch this person this long after this crime happened. As far as armed security on campus, Kayleigh and I were wondering what you can tell us about that since you're on the ground there.
Well, I mean, okay, so if this happens, like, what is the probability that the guy just happened to spawn in at the one place that there aren't a lot of cameras? Like, I mean, I feel like that's it's pretty revealing.
Is the security on campus at Brown armed?
Brown has its own police force. There are actual gun-carrying police force, the Brown University Police, and they actually responded. Ultimately, they were the ones who would be responsible for activating the sirens, etc. They have a chief of security as well. And I think, Sandra, and, you know, not to use an unfortunate metaphor, but you're right over the target because you got to say to yourself, how is it that in a building that is not only at the edge of campus, which says to me you got to be very cognizant of people wandering in and out, not even shooters, just trespassers, people that are homeless or people looking to do a burglary. How is it that the outer salient of your campus, which is where one of the most busy classes that they have is held, how is it? The
focus on cameras, in my opinion, is kind of stupid.
That the ingress and egress doesn't have a simple camera, the kind of Ring cameras that we're even talking about in a private home.
Yeah, they're in houses.
Costs next to nothing in the course of a university budget. They don't have that. On a day that there were a number of things going on a Saturday during finals season, they apparently had either propped open the door or literally deactivated the card access during the day, and there was no security guard. So you really do have to question why it is that the building was so insecure and why we're not hearing more about that. Let's remember, a place like Brown drives the economy in this town. And I don't think it's any accident that there have been so many politicians at the lectern, and yet we're not hearing a whole lot from Brown Security.
I mean, where's the head of security protocol for the university to explain what the protocol was and what the
Yeah. That's really fucking weird. They're right.
Protocol is. Final question. I mean, does it stump you that there's not just more eyewitness video footage? I mean, we were also just discussing you can't go anywhere now without, 20 cameras up and catching something, anything that is happening at any given moment anywhere. Why have we not seen any further video?
Cameras are pointless to prevent shootings. We're discussing finding the person that did the shooting, not
what
preventing
went
it.
down that day.
Yeah,
that hour.
obviously.
Well, like I said, the school, he fled into the residential neighborhood from the edge of the school campus. So you can take the school off the table. And as I said, then you're down to the local residences. There are other things you can hope for here relative to video. A lot of car dash cams have video these days.
Yeah,
Somebody might have
exactly.
got picked up. Hopefully they're looking at that and they're hoping people will come forward with something like that. But the fact that video is still sort of coming in, I think shows you they are pressing on that front. We got this new image of a person of interest. They're not couching that as a person that replaces the original one. They seem to be saying maybe somebody who knows something or somebody who might be involved. And there's some hopeful signs in that video. I only took a quick look. We just got it. But he's holding a bag. The original perp was holding a bag as well that then is not in some of the other videos. Where'd that bag go? This
But
person
the person
also
of
seems to be
interest.
That bag go?
Sorry,
True.
Paul, you're generating so many more questions, I'm sure, for viewers at home. But the person of interest yelled something, correct? And we're still not told what that person yelled while carrying out the crimes?
How is it that this person yelled something in a room full of people, but nobody knows what it is? That seems a little bit interesting.
Yeah, reportedly he did. And, that's another question I have because I'm wondering
He
if...
yelled Allahu Akbar. I mean, why? Why do people say that? Because it's a bit of an
This study hall was
I don't
either
know.
live streamed or maybe some of the students in there were recording
not saying you
it.
didn't,
That would
I
be
just don't
common
know.
so that you could review your notes. I'm wondering if everybody in that room has been interviewed to say, did you record the session so that we can review what he yelled or if he did yell? So look, there are a lot of questions here. I'm sure they're pressing on all this. And all I would say, Sandra, as you and I talked about yesterday, I believe, remember the Koberger case. For 6 weeks, everybody said these guys don't know what they're doing. They're chasing their tails. And then when it all came out, everybody was quite impressed. So let's give them some time when you don't get an immediate solve.
But then why'd they delete that guy's account? Like, that's what's crazy is that one guy's account got deleted on the website. Like, that to me is the really weird one. And then his social media account got deleted too. Like, that, because those are like extenuating circumstances, right? Why that one guy specifically? Exactly, yeah.
So it sounds like you're saying have faith in the process. You're on the ground. You're gathering information. You see the investigation at work. I guess my final question is, do students come back from the break if this guy's still on the loose?
Of course they're going to come back.
I think they're going to have to. At the end of the day, the school's got to operate. I mean, obviously, that's a call that the university is going to have to make. But I would imagine you're going to see a significantly different security posture at this university going forward. And frankly, from where I sit, that's pretty long overdue.
Wow. Paul Morrow.
I don't even know what to say. I feel like really, if you're looking for a second person and there's all this stuff, update from the police on the shooter. Like, is there any information about this?
We might have been a witness, with leaving open the possibility that there may be something more, but in asking this person to come forward and give us that information, it seems to be, in this case, they're looking for
When I was at college, you could delete your own accounts and info. I mean, but did that person have like a student account, or did they have a faculty or like some sort of like a website account for like their writing that they had done? Because I really just don't know the answer to that. I'm not sure.
Witness.
Whatever happened? Yeah, whatever happened to Palantir? Yeah, shouldn't we be having like Palantir popping off with this?
Yeah, well, it certainly seems at this point that this person they don't believe was, I say, intimately involved. As you said, the offer is for the person to kind of, voluntarily come forward.
Yeah.
I would say, Will, is that having worked in my early part of my career with the Bureau, as a special photographer. I can tell you that the image of this individual, and it could probably even be further maybe enhanced as they go along.
I don't think there's any more news about this. I'm going to be honest, right?